Educating children is something everyone can agree is a necessary part of our modern life and should be done in the best possible way to help us have a brighter future. One point that many have argued for a very long time and still argue over now is how we should teach students about the origin of human life. There are two opposing sides on the issue of creation science versus evolution. But first, a little backstory. Throughout the history of the U.S., the education system has changed a lot so that kids can be educated in the most current and accurate information to be productive members of society. One of the most relatively recent changes is about the origin of life on Earth. Formerly, many schools taught that the origin of humans is found in the Bible, and that humans were created by a higher being and made to be as they are today. This concept was so widely accepted that it was crazy to teach anything else. Over time, we started to teach evolutionary biology in place of creationism, or creation science, inside the school buildings. It is now true that every public school in America have evolution as part of their curriculum, but there are people who have an issue with this approach. Many today argue that the lack of representation for creationism in the science classroom is bad for kids and shows a bias toward evolution. One of the groups claiming this is called the Discovery Institute, a group of Christian scientists who advocate for intelligent design and creation science to be taught in the classroom. And while they are not the final authority on the matter, they do showcase the beliefs of many Christians who think that creationism should be taught alongside evolution. Many advocate that this can increase a student's critical thinking as well as help them see other viewpoints outside their own. And while these are very good things for students to learn, I disagree that students should be taught creationism inside public schools. This is for two very specific reasons. One, because teaching religious teachings in schools violates the Establishment Clause of the U.S., as well as creationism could be better represented outside the classroom by those who are trained to teach it. To the first point, the U.S. has a long history of court cases surrounding this issue. This started with the Scopes monkey trial, where John Scopes was a high school science teacher. He did not teach biology, though. He taught more physics and chemistry. But he went to the state and said that he was teaching evolution and was arrested for violating the Butler Act, which bans teaching evolution in public schools in Tennessee. The case went on, and Scopes was found guilty and was fined $100, which is about $1,000 nowadays. It is called the monkey trial because the detractors of Scopes said that he was arguing that humans were monkeys, or descended from them, which he never claimed, but the name stuck. This led to a dramatic shift in the public view of evolution, because it was a very widely broadcasted case and it caught the attention of many individuals. It allowed evolution to be a far more mainstream issue and got into the minds of many Americans. Following this, there were many other court cases following this ruling. One of these is Lemon v. Kurtz, bring a similar topic to the Scopes trial, but this case was ruled in favor of the teachers teaching evolution. And it set the precedent of a three-pronged test used to determine the constitutionality of a law surrounding what can and cannot be taught in the classroom. The three prongs are: the statute must have a secular purpose, it cannot promote or inhibit any form of religion, and must not have excessive government entanglement. This means that the government cannot make a teacher teach creation in school, but cannot ban it outright either. This is part of the current precedent that teachers must teach the required curriculum, but may touch on creation as a counterpoint if they would like, as long as they don't teach it as fact, just as another possibility. The state can either stop them from doing such or force them to teach it. To the second, that creation could be better taught elsewhere, creationism is a very complex and broad topic, just like evolution. And just as there are people trained to teach evolution, there are people who have learned for many years about creation and could probably teach it better than a science teacher who didn't learn to teach it. There are trained pastors and practitioners of religion that are far more adept and ready to teach this topic. There is a time and a place for every discussion, and the classroom is not a great place to bring up creationism. This is because it could confuse students, and there are just better people for it than a science teacher. And while everything wasn't covered in this video, because this is a large and multifaceted issue, there are many points to be made on either side, as this is still a long and ongoing discussion by parents and many others as well. As we move forward, we must set aside our biases and listen to the others' viewpoints, because in the end, we all just want what's best for the future generation. So approaching this with an open mind and a kind heart is the best path to change. Thank you for watching my video essay, and please leave a like.